It's time to go from LA. LA has changed.
TJ Nezafati and his family are fed up, and after 30 years, packing up their business and leaving town.
America, a jewelry store owner in Woodland Hills just got robbed for the second time in 6 months. And this time, the thief came through the roof and stole $100,000 worth of jewelry in under 10 minutes. But here's what should terrify you. This family has also been held at gunpoint twice at their home after being followed from the store. And now they're packing up after 30 years and leaving California for good.
The fact that this guy was able to actually go up there without using the ladders, how did he go behind the cameras? It must have been somebody that either knows us or been working here or just been watching us for a while.
The thief didn't wear gloves, he didn't hide his face, and when the cops showed up, they didn't even dust for fingerprints or collect tools left on the roof because, you guys, in California, property crime is so common that forensic investigators don't even bother anymore.
The Department of Homeland Security says California released thousands of undocumented criminals in just the past few weeks.
And while businesses are being robbed, Governor Gavin Newsom is releasing thousands of undocumented criminals and fighting ICE to protect illegal immigrants instead of protecting citizens who help build California. What is up, guys? Tyson DeLaCruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Let me show you how California has become so lawless that even iconic businesses are fleeing the state while Newsom pretends that everything's fine. Let me walk you through this robbery because the level of planning and complete lack of consequences tells you everything you need to know about California's collapse. This is Fine Gold and Silver in Woodland Hills, a family jewelry store that's been in business for 30 years. They sell diamonds, precious stones, unique coins from the Middle East. And early Saturday morning around 2:30 a.m., the owner's parents got a call from their alarm company.
The person just hammered in, came inside from the roof, came down, but when you come down, you see an 18-foot drop. He knew if he jumps down, he's going to break something. So he crawled to the end of the store where it's in the second floor. We have two stories. And he jumped down from there.
This wasn't random. This was obviously planned. The thief knew the store layout. He knew where the cameras were. He knew where to enter to avoid the big drop. And he knew exactly what to steal. $100,000 worth of precious jewels in less than 10 minutes. The thief didn't wear gloves. His face was clearly visible on surveillance cameras. He left tools on the roof and a jackhammer and an axe. And when the cops left, the owner had to tell them, wait. There's still evidence on the roof. The police have already driven away without collecting it.
Police officers were nice. They came in and took care of everything. But I feel like it was just so routine for them.
Now, let me show you the full scope of what this family has endured, because the roof robbery situation is just the latest in a 30-year pattern of being targeted by criminals while California does nothing to protect them. This is the second burglary in 6 months. 6 months. Thieves broke in through a steel door and robbed the store. The family strengthened up security. They made it safer and harder to access. They added cameras. The criminals, they just adapted. They came through the roof instead. But it's not just the store. This family has been followed home from the jewelry store and held at gunpoint twice. Criminals followed them and waited till they got home, then robbed them at gunpoint in their own driveway.
We were held at gunpoint with hands behind our back. We're even scared to go outside of the jewelry, from the jewelry store to home. We're always scared.
This is what life looks like for a business owner in California. You can't even drive home from work without the fear of being followed and robbed. And the family's response, they told their parents, you need to move. You need to find another location and get out of here because this keeps happening and the frequency is more often. The owner says they don't have insurance because insurance companies won't insure jewelry stores anymore, not just in LA, but all over the country, because they're consistently broken into. So every robbery costs them hundreds of thousands of dollars straight out of their pocket. And California's response? Nothing. California has created a system that protects criminals, especially illegal immigrant criminals, while leaving law-abiding citizens defenseless. DHS just confirmed that California released thousands of undocumented criminals in the past few weeks. Not people waiting for asylum hearings. Criminals who have committed crimes, got arrested, and were released back onto California streets instead of being turned over to ICE.
California Senate Bill 54, signed into law in 2017 by then Governor Jerry Brown, prevents state and local law enforcement agencies from enforcing federal immigration laws.
Sheriffs can't hold criminals for ICE pickup. They can't share information about immigration status. They can't even enforce federal immigration law. So when an illegal immigrant commits a crime, gets arrested and posts bail, California, they just release them back into the community.
Tulare County Sheriff Mike Boudreau says the law prevents federal law enforcement from doing their jobs productively.
What Senate Bill 54 basically did was shove immigration back out into the community versus coming into our jails where it's most useful and specifically designed to focus on the criminal element.
Adding that his focus has always been on protecting victims.
We focus on victims and suspects.
Even some California sheriffs admit SB 54 is an absolute disaster, but Newsom doesn't care. He would rather protect illegal immigrant criminals than protecting jewelry store owners, law-abiding citizens, people who have been there for over 30 years. And here's the kicker. While Newsom is fighting to protect criminals, he's also dealing with a $20 billion unemployment debt that businesses are going to have to pay. California is the only state in the nation that hasn't paid back its pandemic unemployment debt. But California spent the money on other priorities, and now businesses are going to get hit with a hidden jobs tax to cover the debt. Now, let me show you the absolute political chaos that's consuming LA. While businesses are being robbed and residents are fleeing because Mayor Karen Bass is drowning in criticism over the handling of the Palisades fires, and the race to replace her is falling apart before it even starts.
The LA Times reports Caruso will not run again. Mayor Bass defended herself to KTLA when we confronted her about that reporting.
Rick Caruso, who almost beat Bass in 2022, briefly reconsidered jumping into the race after the LA Times reported that Bass watered down the Palisade Fire After Action report, but couldn't water down the community. He called it an absolute outrage, but in less than 24 hours, he's announcing he is not running. So the strongest challenger just took himself out of the race. And Bass, obviously, she's denying everything. When confronted about the report, she said, "What will be the purpose of covering up a report that I ordered? It's completely fabricated." But the LA Times stands by their reporting. And Bass's approval numbers are tanking because residents know she failed during the fire. Meanwhile, lesser known candidates are jumping in the pool. Spencer Pratt, the reality star who lost everything in the Palisades fire, is running. A pastor and a community organizer is running. A tech entrepreneur is running. But seemingly none of them have the name recognition or funding to seriously challenge Bass.
County Supervisor Lindsay Horvath says she will make a decision on if she's running by tomorrow morning. The election is June 2nd, but if one candidate does not get majority vote, it goes to a runoff, that vote in November.
And right now it looks like Bass might survive simply because there's no strong challenger willing to take her on. We got to call him Mel Gibson. Now, let me show you the ultimate sign that California is collapsing. In-N-Out Burger, the most iconic California brand in existence, period, is moving their corporate headquarters to Tennessee.
In-N-Out is here to stay. That's according to the company's heiress and CEO, Lindsay Snyder, who took to Instagram Monday posting this message.
We're not leaving California or leaving our roots behind. Each one of our locations is here to stay. Moving into Tennessee provides our In-N-Out associates wonderful opportunities to buy a home and raise a family.
Translation: California is going down the crapper. California is so expensive and so dysfunctional that even In-N-Out employees can't afford to live there anymore. So the company is moving operations to a state where people can actually buy a house and raise families without going bankrupt.
Republican State Senator Tony Strickland blamed California policies, saying the state has lost too many major companies in recent years. Governor Gavin Newsom responded, saying California remains a global economic power.
He is in complete denial. In-N-Out is leaving. The jewelry store owner is leaving. A lot of wealthy people are leaving. Businesses are fleeing to Texas, Florida, and Tennessee. And Newsom, he's pretending like everything is fine. I'm personally surprised that people are still considering doing business in California. You have pure lawlessness in the streets. street takeovers, burglars coming through the roof, coming through the front door, shootings, homelessness everywhere, a poor economy, and a $20 billion unemployment debt that businesses are going to have to pay. Speaking of In-N-Out, what is your go-to order? I want to know. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Mine is a Flying Dutchman, lightly salted with whole grill onions. And if I'm feeling a little frisky, I go animal style on the fries, extra crispy. Plus, I have to throw in a few no salt patties for the pups. America, a jewelry store owner just got robbed through the roof for the second time in 6 months. His family has been held at gunpoint twice after being followed home. The thief's face is on camera. His fingerprints are all over the store, and his tools were left on the roof. But cops didn't even dust for prints because property crime is so common in California that forensic investigators don't even bother anymore. Meanwhile, Newsom is releasing thousands of undocumented criminals and fighting ICE to protect illegal immigrants instead of protecting business owners. The jewelry store owner said it perfectly. It's time to go from LA. LA has changed. Over 30 years of building a business, paying taxes, and contributing to the community, he's packing up and leaving because California protects criminals over citizens. And he's not alone. Businesses are fleeing to states where they can operate without fear of being robbed, taxed to death, and abandoned by their government. This, my friends, is what happens when you elect leaders who prioritize ideology over results. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.